If you've ever grown a fruit tree, you know this scene by heart. A perfect line of ants marching up the trunk, moving in both directions like tiny couriers. And wherever ants show up on a fruit tree, aphids are rarely far behind. Wherever aphids settle, your harvest eventually pays the price. The instinct most people follow is heading straight to the store for a spray or chemical barrier. But 2,000 years ago, Roman farmers already understood something most gardeners never learn. Ants aren't defeated with poison, they're managed, and managing them is simpler, cheaper, and more effective than anything sold in a bottle. Today we're looking at exactly how Roman orchardists protected their trees from ants without spending a coin or poisoning their soil. Subscribe if you don't want to miss what we uncover each week. Stay until the end. The last method is the most surprising and easiest to try tonight. Ants don't climb fruit trees for the fruit, they climb for aphids. And that distinction changes everything. Aphids are tiny soft-bodied insects that colonize tender growth, feeding on sap and excreting a sugary substance called honeydew. Ants are drawn to that honeydew, and in exchange they protect aphid colonies from predators like ladybugs and lacewing larvae, essentially herding them like livestock. Entomologists consider this one of the most documented examples of mutualism between insect species. Left unchecked, a well-established aphid colony can weaken a young tree considerably, with research from agricultural extension programs documenting that unmanaged infestations on young fruit trees can reduce first-season fruit set by well over a third. What makes this frustrating is that spraying broad insecticides often backfires. These chemicals kill ladybugs and lacewing larvae right alongside the ants, and once the spray wears off, aphids rebound faster than their predators can recover. Roman farmers never had modern entomology's vocabulary, but they observed this pattern precisely, and their solution wasn't to destroy the whole system, it was to interrupt one link: the ant's physical access to the trunk. The Roman writer Columella, in his agricultural treatise, De Re Rustica, written around 60 CE, documented how farmers across Italy protected fig and olive trees from ants. The method was simple. Farmers wrapped coarse cloth around the trunk roughly 1.5 feet off the ground, then coated it with wet ash and clay. Ants couldn't cross the surface. The clay grew slick when moistened, and alkaline ash irritated their legs. The band was refreshed after every rainfall. Columella also described using pitch, a dark pine resin, applied directly onto bark as a sticky, impassable layer. Cato the Elder, writing his own manual roughly 2 centuries earlier, mentioned similar resin barriers on Roman olive estates, confirming this was a widespread practice. The logic is identical in both cases: create a zone on the trunk ants physically cannot cross without poisoning anything. Anyone today can replicate this using a strip of burlap coated generously with plain petroleum jelly or thick vegetable oil. Ants cannot walk across it. The coating doesn't harm the tree or contaminate soil, and it lasts several weeks. The band needs to sit where no low branches touch the ground, otherwise ants find another route. Check it every 2 weeks and refresh the coating when it dries out. If you're still here, you're amazing. Make sure to subscribe right now and brace yourself, because we are just getting started and the best is yet to come. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of it. Andean farming communities developed a parallel solution based on disrupting the chemical language ants use to navigate. In traditional communities across the Bolivian and Peruvian Altiplano, farmers bury a ring of ash mixed with soil around the base of fruit trees, roughly 8 inches from the trunk and 4 inches deep, renewing it every 3 to 4 months. Ants rely on pheromones deposited on the ground to mark trails and coordinate movement. Ash, being highly alkaline, alters the soil pH where it's buried, disrupting those pheromone trails entirely. Ants reaching the buried ash ring simply lose the scent trail and become disoriented. Agricultural research studying integrated pest management in similar growing regions has documented measurable reductions in ant trunk traffic following alkaline soil disruption, with some field trials reporting reductions exceeding 70% in the weeks following application. The Andean farmer described this as throwing the ants off their path. The entomologist describes pheromone trail interference through localized pH disruption. 2 vocabularies, the same result. Mesoamerican farming traditions went further. designing the garden environment so ants preferred to establish themselves away from fruit trees entirely. In the traditional milpa system developed over thousands of years, insect management happened at the scale of the whole garden rather than tree by tree. Epazote, an aromatic herb native to Mexico, contains volatile essential oils that repel several ant species. Planted within 3 feet of a tree's base, it created a zone ants tended to avoid, not through toxicity, but because the scent interfered with their navigation. Marigold served a similar function throughout traditional Oaxacan orchards. Field notes recorded by agronomist Rodrigo Espinoza Vázquez in the 1940s described marigold planted systematically around fruit trees in nearly every orchard he visited in Zapotec communities. Decades later, researchers at Mexico's Colegio de Postgraduados documented that marigold produces a compound called alpha-terthienol that volatilizes and repels several ant species, finally explaining scientifically what Espinoza had recorded as unverified folk practice 40 years earlier. Here's the technique that costs nothing and uses something in your kitchen trash right now: water boiled from citrus peel. In traditional orchards throughout highland Chiapas, older women pass this practice to their daughters as ordinary household maintenance. Leftover peel from bitter orange or lime gets boiled in water for about 15 minutes, then applied cooled directly onto the trunk from base to first branch using an old cloth. Citrus peel contains limonene, a terpene present in high concentration that acts on the nervous system of soft-bodied insects like aphids, and against ants functions as a powerful disruptor of pheromone trails. Research from Mexico's Instituto Tecnológico de Oaxaca examined orange peel extract against leafcutter ants, documenting that weekly application reduced ant crossing activity by 84% compared to untreated areas. Researcher Carmen Adelaida Morales Torres documented this practice in the Tzeltal community of Bachajan in 2013 after observing a 73-year-old woman named Esperanza Santis Lopez apply citrus peel water to her 40-year-old lemon tree every 8 to 10 days, a tree that had never suffered a serious aphid infestation in decades. What Espinoza recorded as folklore in the 1940s, and what Doña Esperanza practiced without ever needing a lab to confirm it, is exactly what modern chemistry eventually measured. If you notice that familiar line of ants climbing your tree this season, you now know exactly what to do without spending $1 or risking your harvest. Subscribe if you haven't already, and tell me in the comments, have you dealt with ant problems on your fruit trees?